All right, this is a digital photography, Web225. My name is Professor Chuck Conkle, and I'll be with you the next 15, 16 weeks. And tonight's just an introduction to the course. We only meet one night a week, but just to get you started this week, like most of your courses in college, the first week aren't generally that heavy as far as homework goes. Same will be for this class. So the Macs that you have here are brand new. We just got them at the end of last semester. And so if you're new to Macs, you'll get used to them this semester. I'll be posting this week, probably by Wednesday or Thursday, the lab times where the lab's open, where you can come in and play around with the Macs and get used to them. Since most of you maybe, or maybe half of you or something, have never used a Mac. So irregardless, if you have or haven't, the lab will be open for you to not only use for this class, but any other classes that you want to use a Macs for. Because really the best way to learn it is just by using it. So you don't have to use it just for this class. In fact, a lot of things we'll be doing the first half of the semester won't be using a lot of Mac tools or Mac apps or anything. So, but anyway, this is an introduction class of digital photography, and this is my 8th year teaching digital photography. This camera here in week 1 is actually my very first camera. It's a Brownie camera. I started taking photos when I was about 8, 9 years old. I saved up money and built my own dark room to take film and convert it onto paper. It was 3x4-inch negatives, which when I first got it, I couldn't afford a magnifier to make the prints bigger, so that's what I printed out was a 3x4 black and whites. But I thought it was pretty cool being 10 years old. We're not going to be doing any of that in this class. It'd be kind of cool, I think, if we could do a dark room and show you how to do that. Because really, we're kind of spoiled in the digital age. A lot of our cameras, smartphones down to the high end cameras, do a lot of the stuff for us that we used to have to do by hand years ago. In fact, when I was a graphic designer, our magazines that we would create would all be laid out with paper and tape and be approved by the editor before it went to print. That's how the layouts were done years ago. And now we have big programs that do it for us and make it much easier. Not saying it's a bad thing. It's just sometimes when you don't know the kind of the history of technology, you kind of get lost in what it can do. And so I'll share a little bit that this semester as we go on. And so the way my class structure, if those of you who haven't had me before, I'm pretty laid back as far as structure goes in the classroom. Just kind of silence your cell phone will be great when you come in. Besides that, as far as when we're in discussion, when we're talking about something, feel welcome to chime in and comment or ask a question or share a story maybe you have about something. So let's go over Eagle first. Was everybody able to get into RVC Eagle just fine? You might have noticed if you checked your email today, not your RVC Eagle email, but your regular RVC mail, you got an email with a QR code attached about this class. Anybody get that? Okay. So it should have went to everybody in here. We're not going to use it tonight just to save time, but starting next Tuesday, check your RVC email. You can save your QR code to your phone, and then basically what you'll do is at the beginning of every session, you'll come up and tap this green button, put the phone in front of the iPad, or you could print it out if you don't have a smartphone. For some of you don't have a smartphone, and then you could scan it that way. And it's just going to allow us to use this to check in every night. I do teach app development. I created that. I have some other faculty using it on campus. And so just a cool way to use technology, but at the same time, it's updated each semester, and we use it for other events here on campus. And so if we're going to teach technology, I think we need to use technology. And so anyway, QR code should be in your inbox. If you didn't get one before you leave tonight, as we're going over everything tonight, just kind of You can go to rockvalleycollege.edu, click on My RVC, and check your email, your general email. If you didn't get it, see me before you leave, and I'll make sure I get it to you. So the way the structure of Eagle works is the front page is a week-by-week breakdown of the content that we're going to be covering. All right, so you'll see I try to put a picture in each one of the weeks. And so this week is just introduction. Week 2, we're going over camera history. Week 3, settings and contrast. Week 4, creating a contact sheet and ISO. 5, we're going over exposure. Week 6, white balance. Week 7, restoring old photos around your house or people that you know. And that's a fun project. We start using computers, by the way, Macs in that week. Panoramic, the old school way of panoramic. Most of your phones and cameras have a panoramic mode to where you can do full circle panoramics, 360 or 180. I'll show you how I learned how to do it way back when, where you can stitch together your pictures that you take in succession and use a tool in Photoshop to create your panoramic. We'll also show an online tool that I like to use as well. It's totally free. Week 9 is landscape. We'll go over that. You'll learn about what that's all about. Week 10, macro photography, close-up photography. Week 11, this is a week of, you'll learn lighting. The following week, 12, you'll get to invite your family and friends, and we meet over in a couple rooms over that way in the middle of this building and have a portrait lab. And so you're from kids to brothers, sisters, mom, dad. You used to be able to bring pets. They don't allow that anymore here on campus. But I used to be able to bring pets a couple semesters ago. They said the only way I could get away with it is if all the pets were like medical pets. And so if you have a medical pet, you can bring him or her. So you'll notice the next 3 weeks are the same. You're working on your final portfolio. The final portfolio, I have tons of them up here you can see before you leave tonight. Just kind of browse through them if you want to. I'll show you a cover of one of them here. Here's Deborah's in spring 2013. This is spring 2012 final project. And what they do basically, they have inside of each one of the portfolios some type of syllabi, or not syllabus, resume, one-page resume, submitted by 10s of their choosing. They have like 8 or 10 categories you guys can choose from to take photos. And then at the end should be thumbnails, which you'll learn how to do. Thumbnails, and then also I teach you how to take your photos and create a DVD with music in the background. So you'll learn how to do that this semester as well. And that, you'll be using your Macs for that as well. You can do that. So the last 3 weeks, you're going to be working on your final presentation. A number of the 2 weeks, I believe, it's the attendance is not mandatory. So I'll be here as a resource if you need me. But if you want to work from home, you can do that, or gather photos, you can do that. But it's a fun project, and you could present that project at the end of the semester. The very last week is portfolio week. It's the week before finals here on campus, so we kind of get to control the time. And you guys will come up here one at a time, tell us what type of portfolio you did, why you chose it, because you get to choose like a pseudo profession. So if you've always wanted to be a paparazzi photographer, you can do that. If you wanted to do sports, you can do that. If you want to do art, you can do that. So whatever it is you're into, you'll kind of find that out this semester if you don't already know. Because each week I kind of give you take home to work on whatever topic we're talking about. And starting next week, I would ask that you bring your cameras to class and kind of keep them with you all the time. And some of you might be using even a smartphone camera, which will be fine, because the technology we'll be teaching you this semester can apply to any type of camera. The settings and the placement of photos and things of that nature. Because each one of your cameras is going to be different anyway as far as where the settings are located, what those settings do. And you'll learn about all the major settings on cameras this semester, what they do, how they're used, and how to actually use them in the field each week. And so the final one again is portfolio presented. It's recorded in a podcast. And each session, even like tonight, you'll notice when I started a countdown of 1, 2, 3, I'm recording what's going on tonight, so you guys can just focus in on the discussion. At the top of the page gives some detail about myself, my office hour or my office location. I'll go over hours in just a second. Phone number, email, and that phone number is a Google phone, so you can call it or text it. It's going to go right to my Google phone, and so don't feel like I'll get upset or whatever if you use that until I put it on the webpage to use it. So I do prefer email first. The texting, or if you use a phone number, is say it's Tuesday at, I don't know, 5 o'clock, get a flat tire, you know you're not going to make it to class. You just text me real quick and let me know. That'd be great. Or family emergency, hopefully you don't have any of those, but stuff happens, and so you can use it for that. Periscope, anybody use Periscope in here or have tried it before? Okay. Well, we're going to be using Periscope starting next Monday, and in this class, it's going to be from 6:15 to 6:30, and I'll go ahead and click on the Periscope link I have a little description in there, I believe. Periscope was actually bought by Twitter, the company Periscope was, and they've taken it and, they've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of programmers, so they've made it better and better and better. Basically what Periscope is it's a video platform where people that watch your video, it's a live video stream, by the way, can post comments or questions, or you can tap the screen for hearts to say you're liking whatever it is you're listening to or discussing. The way I've set up Periscope is only my students or people that I follow can comment. So if you've ever been on Periscope or any type of video chat system, you're not going to have any trolls be able to come in and just post whatever, okay? Everybody in the world can watch what we're talking about, but they can't comment on what we're talking about. Does that make sense? So there are steps when you click on the Periscope link here that shows you how to set up Periscope if you never done it before. It works for iPhones and Androids both. So you probably have one or the other, I'm guessing, as far as phones. I believe Galaxy Android. I'm trying to think. Windows Phone does not, I don't believe it has a Windows app, but it might. Windows Phone app. Anybody have a Windows Phone? How many has either a Droid or iOS phone? iPhone or some type of Droid. Okay. Then Periscope's free for you to download. You will need a Twitter account, and most of you might already have one. I don't know. I do recommend signing up for that this week, getting Periscope installed, and following the steps on how to set up Periscope. The MicePeriscope channel is just a aggregate feed of different periscopes that I've done. We had the 3D printing last semester, did some periscoping there. They gave away a $700 3D bust of the Terminator X object. So I did one last night for my 102 class. So I'll give you a little feel here of what a periscope looks like as far as the screen anyway, what you'll see. Continue on with that question. Favorite movie, if you are of all time, what would it be and why? This is a Periscope from our Periscope Tuesday that will start next Tuesday in the CIS division. This was Josh Curtis, a programmer here on campus that has a drone that he bought, and he was talking about some of the photos he's taken and videos, and that's huge right now. Drones, or everybody has them. But anyway, this is a Periscope for connecting students to employees and faculty here on campus. And that's kind of what the screen looks like when you guys will view it. There's no periscopes in here for us right now, but starting next Monday, right after the session, about 10 minutes after the session is done, a video will show up here, a playlist, and it'll be populated of all the periscopes throughout the semester. And again, they're 10 or 15 minutes in length. I'll choose a topic each week about photography that I think is cool. I think next week I'm actually going to choose one from how drones are being used to take high-end digital photography with GoPros, and show you some examples of those. And a lot of photographers are using those, whether it be in sports, nature, X Games are using drones for high-end video and digital capture. And so I'll pick a topic, we'll talk about it, and then you guys can comment in and let me know what you think. So it'll be weekly, 6:15 to 6:30. They are recorded. It's optional, but I highly recommend it because, again, you'll find periscopes out there that are from pretty much every walk of life, from your favorite band that you listen to, probably is doing some type of periscope or video for their fans, to businesses are doing periscope of conferences, seminars, and teaching of whatever you might think that's out there in periscope land. And so it's just something to get involved with, because more than likely somewhere down the road you'll be able to use Periscope yourself in your own business or in your own life somehow. All right, benefit your life, your business. And so I'll recommend it just for that, if nothing else. And also, so I won't just have myself and Diane in the room and that's it. Okay, so that's Periscope. Let's talk about general course navigation. We'll go over this middle line here right now. General course navigation helps. Let's go over that. This just goes over the makeup of the screen on the left side, which is not loading. Well, I'll go over manually here for you. Not loading on mine either. So on the left side, you got announcements. I would suggest checking announcements on Monday of each week. And the announcements are going to be what we're doing that week in class, anything you need to bring to class, stuff like that. Nothing real hard, but just check it. And then the next one, grades. Generally have everything is due in here on the Sunday night of that week at midnight. There will be some labs that you'll do that'll be hands-on in the class that you'll start with people around you just to kind of get to know each other the first few weeks. Those are technically, though, not going to be due till that following Sunday, even though you start them in the classroom. Does that make sense? You don't want to submit until that following Sunday. Syllabus is a link to the syllabus, as well as a grade list by due date, assignment list by due date. So if you kind of want a snapshot of when everything's due from here on out, you can click on syllabus to find that out. And then modules is just a breakdown week by week of all of the assignments. So I'll click on that one to show you what that one looks like. When you click on the pictures on the front page of the week, it's going to take you to that corresponding module. So week 1 would take you to week 1. It'll show you in week 1 if there is a due date, like January 17th, 20 points. I've got to change that date on photo inspiration. I can see. And so as we go through the week's modules, you'll see when the due dates are. Pretty simple if you've taken other classes with Eagle. I probably use it pretty simple. I try to use it as simply as possible and less confusing. Next is course success. Course success is to bring your camera everywhere you go, including class. Have your camera with you at all times. You never know when you're going to need it. You know, we've all done it. We've been somewhere, an event, whatever the case may be. And I know we all have our smartphones with us that we can take cameras or take photos with. And that's great. but maybe we didn't have that possibly in that place and location, and we lost a shot. We lost that photo that we could have taken. So bring it with you all the time. Hopefully, even after the class, you'll kind of keep your camera around. And then join in for discussion and labs as we have them. Turn in each all your work on time. If you're going to be late on something, just let me know, whether it be I forgot to, the cat got ran over, to the dog ate the homework, whatever it is, I don't care. Just let me know you're going to be late, so I'll kind of know what's going on. And then have fun is the main thing. With photography, this class, you will have a lot of fun, hopefully, with just learning hands-on every week something new. The format, you'll come in, you'll scan your QR badge. We'll spend about 45 minutes discussing the content. The first few weeks anyway, you'll start your lab in class and then go. So if we start at 7:30, we'll probably be out of here by 8:45, 9-ish, roughly, every Wednesday or Tuesday night. You can hang out after that if you want to, but some of the labs you'll actually be in your groups doing it till you go home. Does that make sense? Doing whatever the lab is till you go home. So you can come back in here and finish up, or like most students do each semester, just go home and do it at home and finish up and upload it then. I've even had students in this class get to know one another quite well, and after they finish the lab, whatever it might be, they might go to Beefaroo or wherever else afterwards for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever so they have a little time to kill before they get to the house. So that's kind of nice too. Because the better get to know each other, since they're only meeting here once a week, the better you're going to be able to help each other when we get to the part of the class where we're actually critiquing photos, you get to know one another. And by getting to know one another, you can critique each other better, right? You know how it is. If you have a best friend, you can really tell them what's what about things that they're doing. If the person you don't know too well, it's hard to do that, right? So you can kind of, feel free to kind of share things with people if you know them better. So with the size of class we have, you're probably not going to get to know everybody around you, in the whole class, but maybe the 3 or 4 people around you, you'll get to know fairly well. And that's what the premise of the take-home labs are. That make sense? Okay, so let's go back to the home and continue on. That is a link for Canvas tutorial. I'm not going to click on that. That's just if you need help with Canvas, RVC Canvas, click on it, it'll help you. The syllabus, you can click on that at your own time and go through it. Live chat, let's click on that. Live chat basically is just that. If I'm available online or on my phone and you have a question, you can click on the live chat. It'll go to this page here, load up this module. If you see this, I believe it's meaning I'm offline. So you'll put your first name, email, and whatever your question is, and it'll send me an email immediately. But if I'm online, you'll be able to chat immediately with me, okay? And it does have on this page also my office number, the 921 number, and the myrvc.org website, which are our division website, which I just posted today, internship possibilities. I'm over all the internships in the division as far as getting them on the website, posting them on social media. And so we have 4 or 5 internships opening for 95.3, the country station, the Bull, if you've ever heard of that. They want interns in the graphics side, social media side, and just office stuff like, Word, Excel, things of that nature. So if you ever wanted to get into radio or know how radio works, I'm a little biased on this one. It is my son-in-law that's the DJ there in the morning, so they need, though, a whole fleet of interns. And so if you're interested in interning, you can get credit for interning, and you will get credit if you sign up. The way it works is you get 1 credit per 75 hours that you work in that job, okay? So you can get at least 1 credit probably if you signed up now, between now and May, kick out 75 hours. And so if you're interested, just shoot me an email, but it's posted on myrvc.org. I also recommend when you go to that website to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. That way when any new posts go out on jobs, or events, you'll be alerted, okay? Because we do try to use social media as best as possible. Years ago, Rock Valley, when I first started, had a student, faculty, community chat area on our website. It was actually tied into our LMS, like Eagle. It was general, public could go in, or people that were students there could go in, and you could chat about anything. People even sold stuff on there, like it was like an online garage sales and stuff like that on there. But we don't have such a feature now, so you need to use social media in order to stay connected with stuff that's going on. And so it's just the nature of the beast that we live in today. So if you're not on Facebook or Twitter, I highly recommend it, especially in this day and age. Yeah, you've probably heard horror stories, and maybe you've had horror stories involved in Facebook and Twitter. But I definitely recommend it. You can change your name and your email and be whoever you want to be if you want to kind of hide out, not want to know who the general public know who you are. But I definitely recommend getting on social media so you can stay connected. All right. And let's see here, live chat, went over that. Course documents, that goes to the first module, I think. Yeah, this is just a plethora of different items I've kept in here over the years. Some of them are good, probably, some of them not so good. Most of them are having to do with labs that you'll do this semester and step-by-step type stuff. But I just keep them out there and you can go through them. We'll use some of these, we won't use some of them. So. And sometimes I post stuff in there that I think is just interesting for photography students to have. And you can avail yourself to that, to look at that. Okay, let's see, navigationally wise, on the right side, it'll tell you what's coming up to do, which this week we've got a number of stuff. It looks like a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of little stuff. And some of you already started, I noticed, like the about me, telling a little bit about yourself. And you have to reply to at least 2 others within the next week. And you guys are doing real great in that already, so keep on with that. Even though I say to reply to 2 other people, you can reply to more than that. Then turning in your make and model of the camera. Even if you have a digital camera that's a phone, that's fine. If you're using your phone this semester, I've had students do that the last couple semesters anyway, and it's fine. The one thing I want to mention while we're talking about cameras for just a second is do not go out and buy a brand new camera this semester while you're taking the class. Don't do it. Wait till you're done, because at the end of the semester I kind of go over some suggestions on my end and then some places to buy here locally. But I would say hold off unless you find a really, really, really good deal. You can email me about it if you have a question about anything, though. I can help you with it. But I don't want you to feel pressured, though, that you have to go out and buy something tonight or before next class period at all. Whatever you got, okay? I've had students, like I said, use everything from their smartphone to they borrowed their dad's phone or mom's phone or camera or their friend's camera while they're taking the class. It's best to actually do that. That way you can kind of see, what kind of interest you're going to have after the class. And that'll depend on what type of camera you purchase down the road. Does that make sense? Because some of you want to just, we'll have a little, I have a little survey I do in a second. Some of you are going to, just be hobbyists maybe. You want to just enrich yourself even more in that area. And there's, no sense in going out and buying a $1,000 camera for that, really. And so, not to say you couldn't. If you have that kind of money, you let me know. I can find other causes for you as well. But to-do stuff's on the right, and we'll go over more week 1 stuff in just a second. And then coming up would be like the following week, or the way it falls in time tonight for this week is going to say to-do and coming up both on this week. As you get towards Friday, Saturday, I'll start pulling in next week's stuff. If there's any recent feedback I've given you on anything I've graded, it'll be right here. So if I've graded something and made a comment, it'll be right there, as well as it does email you an Eagle of any grade changes that I make. And I try to have all the grading done for this class, this is everything to do on Sunday, by Tuesday. And so once I finish grading everybody's stuff for that week, I just email the entire class and say, check your grade book. That's it. Okay? I will periodically, if I see kind of, I was getting ready to slack off. Yeah, I'm going to say it, slack off for a couple weeks and not turn your stuff in, or you're turning in late. I might just give you a general reminder. In the assignment itself, I'll just post something like please submit or something like that, just to remind you to submit. Because I know you get busy with job, family, other classes. And so I just do that to remind you, not to annoy you. All right. So let's go into now week one, if we could. It'll go right to week one task, and it's going to go over some stuff to do. Now, if you've never used iTunes or iTunes U, this semester for this class, I've already started cleaning up my classes from last semester in iTunes U. They changed the dynamics of iTunes U. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a service by Apple for schools, K through 12 and post-secondary colleges and universities, where we can post video or audio content and even PDFs on a public iTunes University site, which I'll show you what it looks like in a second. So you'll subscribe to our course on iTunes U. I'll click the link on in just a second. You'll read the syllabus. You'll do the About Me in week one, and you'll set up Periscope app. Plus, there's an assignment that we'll be doing in just a second, or talk about in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the subscribe link here on number one. And it basically walks you through what to do exactly. I'm going to click on the number 3. They might have changed the link on that because we just changed our website. So let's see if they did. They just updated it. They updated our website. It looks pretty nice, I think. It's a lot more mobile rendered than the one we had before. And so we just rolled that out in November, I think, of last semester. That's taking forever, so I'm going to kill that one. I'm going to click on the second one, which is the Rock Valley College. If you just go to rockvalleycollege.edu, in fact, let me just do that. It'll be simpler. Let's go to rockvalleycollege.edu. I'll have you do that with me if you want. You might have noticed this already, but on the right side here, all the social media icons, one of the icons is an Apple icon. When you click on that, it's going to take you to the iTunes U page. It'll talk about what iTunes U is. I won't bore you with that because you can read it. Is one of them towards the bottom here is go to iTunes, RVC and iTunes U. And on the Macs here, it'll automatically launch iTunes. If you don't have iTunes on your PC at home, if you have a PC, if you're a PC user, it'll prompt you to install iTunes, which is free to download. And then what it's going to do here in just a second is go right to our page. And so these are the courses here on campus that utilize somewhat, a lot, iTunes U in some form or fashion. Everything from this class, digital photography, which I'm probably going to keep most of these out there till I replace them. Like this week's will go in there. But, you know, you have some old ones in here I kept in there. They're still good. There's nothing wrong with them. You can still view them. You know, but it's got like, you know, portrait, macro, poster, panoramic, retouch, color, adjust, bracket exposure, composition, contrast, contact. So I'll leave all those in there. I think these two up here are finals I left in here from fall 2013 of the final portfolio presentation. That's out there as well. But anyway, when you get to this page, you just click subscribe is all you do. And you don't have to do that in here. You do that at home. And once you subscribe to it in iTunes, it remembers it and it'll download a newest, whatever podcast I post up there. It'll download automatically. You can play with an iTunes. You can sync it to your iPhone if you have one. There's also apps that allow you to sync this to your Droid as well. It didn't used to be user-friendly with Droids, but now it is. I know people that do it, that subscribe to podcasts using their Droid device. So that's iTunes U. Now, while you're in iTunes, though, I do recommend, how many's taken one or more classes besides this one this semester here on campus? One or more. Okay. So what you can do is you can use iTunes U to help you with your other classes as well. I always use this as an example. My niece was taking Spanish, right? I mean, did anybody take Spanish in high school? Do you remember any of it? Like one or two words, maybe? Como está usted? Remember that one? I had to say it like 1,000 times. I got in trouble for something. I had to say it like a whole bunch of times. It's the only thing I remember. Anyway, iTunes U allows you to kind of like get a study buddy. It's like a virtual study buddy, basically. Because what's cool about it is places like Harvard, MIT, Princeton, you can sign up for register for courses at those places for no cost, and you can download all the podcasts from all those great professors and teachers and minds of the day. And so anyway, I always use this example. I'm going to go up here to the top right and search for Spanish. But it could be whatever. You could be doing, I don't know, speech or something, or pottery or something like that. We have that on campus too, I believe. As soon as you type in Spanish, you're going to get everything Spanish in iTunes, right? Courses for Spanish. But you go down to the iTunes U material, that's the one you want to look for. And there's a number of, the ones it's going to give you here at the top are the top iTunes U material. Then down here they've got collections of Spanish, like 5-minute Spanish, iTunes episodes, apps that have to do with Spanish. And then we'll get down to the podcast. That's what I want to focus on. Podcasting is where you want to go to when you're searching for unique things like you're wanting to learn, because generally they have a series that you can look at. Not to say a course wouldn't work well, but I'm just using this as an example. So let's do Coffee Break Spanish. That's a good one. That was out there actually when my niece was needing help. Anyway, what's cool about it is this one it says learn Spanish with Coffee Break Spanish, bringing you language learning with your latte, aimed at total beginners. This podcast will help you get to grips with Spanish language. And it's got something like, what do we see here? Keep going. 68. No, it's more than that. It's more than that. 193. There you go. 193 podcasts are out here. And what's cool about it is, if you wanted to preview something, you could. These are all audio. It'll tell you over here what it is. It's audio podcast. Well, let's do this first one here. But you can preview it. This one's only 11 minutes.
Coffee Break Spanish, Season 4, Episode 19.
You can go through and learn Spanish, right, with that. So it's something you can do. You can do if you're having algebra problems or you need help with algebra, you can do that same thing. Now I'm going to go back and look at some iTunes U stuff, some colleges or universities that are also teaching Spanish. And you can show this to other people that you know that so here we go. Intro level university courses. Espanol. Let's go back to that. There we go. Okay, so let's find one that's an iTunes U. I think Arkansas University's got something here. Spanish 1 is a course name. And these are mostly videos. So it's got like 20 some videos. And if you see this icon here, that means it's a video, okay? A video podcast. And it'll tell you on the left side here what type of podcast it has as well. But if you like it, you go through it and like it, bless you, is you just click subscribe, and now you've got some extra help for Spanish. So I recommend going through iTunes U, going through podcast, whatever genre you like or you need help with, look it up here, and you might find some podcasts that you like. I usually listen to 2 or 3 podcasts a week religiously in technology, and then also hobbyist stuff. I play guitar, got one for that. Photography, got a couple for that. Robotics, 3D rendering. I'm into robotics and 3D printing, into that. Got tons of resources on that, and it's all free. It doesn't cost anything. And I'm amazed how many students have literally never heard of it. They've heard of iTunes U, but they really didn't know what it was all about, right? Really didn't know what's out there. So spend a few minutes this week when you subscribe to our course, also looking at other stuff out there you might be interested in, okay? Make sense? All right, so let's go back to Eagle. So you'll subscribe to iTunes U. That was one of the things in week 1, task. I'm going back to that. And just like all the Eagle stuff, at the bottom of the module, or whatever one you're in, if you just click next, that's what I'd recommend doing. That way you don't miss anything. You'll go to the next one. This is a one from a couple semesters ago, a podcast. This will be replaced by this podcast in here tonight that you're listening intently to. And so basically I'll replace it with that. And then the About Me, name you go by, favorite food, favorite movie, hobbies, why you're taking the class, and reply to at least 2 other people before next week. And you can do more than that, but at least 2. And it's 20 points for that one. And then photo site. Some of you have already done this as well. You can go to Foki.com, create your own photo site. Now I'm trying to think here though, because I just got prompted from them over break. How many's already done this, by the way? The Foki. Were you able to set up a free one, or do they? Okay, cool. All right, because I've had a site out here for like 8 years, but I pay for the yearly fee for it, and I thought I saw something about no longer free. So it is free, but I'm guessing you still get ads and stuff like that on it. Okay, cool. So Foki is a great place, by the way. A lot of photographers use it. Just like everything photography and art, though, you will see photos in here you might not approve of. Just so you know that. Just a word of warning, disclaimer. All right. But in college, you're probably going to hear things and see things you don't approve of either, or maybe your parents don't. All right. So that's going to happen. It's a photography site. You have all different types of photography in here. So set up your site. Once you set it up, you'll give me the URL to your site. I'll show you what mine looks like here. I'll go to Foki, and I've literally had one, I believe, since, I don't know, early 2000s, 2001, something like that. But you'll see in this one here, I've got Web225, a whole bunch of them in there. You guys will be in there as well this semester. And some of the assignments that you do will be posted in here, like the panoramic restoration will be posted in here. Also, some stuff we'll do in week 1 here will be posted in there. And so, great site for photos, but just fill that out, tell me your URL, and post it. And then the make and model of your camera is the next one that's due for week 1. So if you have a Fujifilm FinePix, put that there. If you have a Nikon Coolpix 6300, if you have a Brownie camera, put that in there. Hopefully nobody has. Well, you might have a Brownie camera. Won't be able to use it. But if you're using a phone, though, whatever camera phone you have, put that in there. Galaxy S, whatever. Put that in there. That's fine. And then photo inspiration. This one is your first assignment, actually, where you're basically just going to go out to some websites of professional photographers, and I want you to be thinking about, while you're looking at these, what inspires you. And you might really not know right now what inspires you, but this assignment will make you think of that, what inspires you. And sometimes when you look at a photo, you don't know why you're inspired, but you're inspired. And so one of the first exercises, the first exercise I have you do, is to start thinking of photography and matching it with a emotions, because photography, good photography, will always bring some type of emotions, whether it be anger, whether it be sadness, whether it be happiness. And what makes me happy might make you mad. What makes you mad might make me happy. I don't know. Everybody has their different taste, right? And so this whole idea behind this assignment this week is to get you inspired, get you looking at photos differently, thinking about photos differently. And then, so basically what you're going to do, I'll just walk through it with you real quick. You can follow along with me on the page, or you can just look on the overhead since it's being recorded. But this is just to get you started on the journey of what good photography is, what you think good photography is. So you go to this site on number 1. While that's loading, I'm going to go back to the page. You'll browse at least 5 photographer portfolios out of the ones that are in there. And again, just a disclaimer, some of these photographer portfolios will be pushing the edge on some of them. And so just be aware of that. But basically what you'll do is you'll browse, find a reply below to the photo that caught your eye the most and why. And here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to put a lot of thought into it. But as you're looking through photos, if something catches your eye, save it, screenshot it. On Windows machine, you can use the snippet tool, right? If you don't know how to do that, just type in snippet in the Windows there on the bottom left on your Windows machine. Or you can download a program called Jing, Jing, which is free. You can Google that and do a nice screenshot. Because a lot of these photo sites keep you from right-clicking and downloading the image. But you can use photo programs like Jing or Snippet that's built into Windows to screenshot that area. Does that make sense? So once you do that, you find the photos that you like that inspire you. You're going to find the one that just catches your eye out of all the ones you looked at. You might have to go back and kind of, oh, where was that at, and find it. If you're on Vista 7 or 8, 9, or 10 tonight, you can use the snippet tool. I put in there the steps to how to use snippet in this little number 3. Then you'll upload to discussion. What I recommend, though, before you upload it, is if you go to tinypic.com, if you've never used that, Tinypic, I'll click on it to show you what it looks like. It allows you to upload any image. It'll give you, after you upload it, a URL once you've uploaded it, and you don't have to sign in for any account. It's totally free to use. So once you upload your image, it'll give you a short URL. You'll take that short URL and upload it into the discussion board. Okay? So use Tinypic. If you don't know how to use Tinypic, or if you've never used it, I created a little podcast of how to do it. And then you will post in that photo underneath it or on top of the photo a link of why you liked it, why it inspired you. And everybody's going to be able to see everybody's inspiration of why it inspired them. Okay? And reply to at least 3 other students' photos on that photo, on why it inspired you. Might also inspire others as well, probably. Does that make sense? So it's just this pure idea of inspiration. Okay, it could be, some of you, it could be a kid laughing. It could be 2 people holding hands. For some of you, it might be somebody skydiving. That inspires you. Whatever it might be. Just when it inspires you, snippet it, screenshot it, and save it. And then use the tool that I mentioned, the Tinypic, to save it. Questions on that? And you'll post it in the discussion. It's a lot of fun, that one is. You get a lot of good feedback from that one. Okay, so that's week 1, introduction. I want to jump into week 2 real quick before we do this little survey before we end tonight. Week 2, we're going to be, want to bring your camera, number 1, make note of that on your phone, or let yourself know, email yourself. I've got some week 2 notes that you can look ahead of time if you want to. But next week, we're going to do photos of each other. You're going to basically take your phone, your camera that you bring, and take photos of each other. and I'm going to put it together in a collage. You'll also use your camera phone. Everybody will on this one. Just so what you're going to do is basically in your camera phone, take the person, a snapshot of that person's face and get their name so you won't forget it because you're being in groups of 3 or 4. And so you can text it or send it to yourself, whether it be through text or through email, however you want to do it. And that's the way a lot of times I do it. If I'm taking a photo and I'm trying to remember a location, I'll use my camera phone to take a picture of whatever it is I just took and make a note of it and then send it to myself in a chat message or whatever it is you want to, however you want to do it. Some people like Instagram. You can do it that way if you like Instagram. And it's just a way to kind of tag what you've just done. But the next week you'll be taking photos of each other. And just so you know, the person you're taking a photo of will pick the photo you choose at the end. So at the end, after you've taken their 5 photos or whatever, they're going to pick the one they like, and then you'll delete the rest of them before you guys leave and disperse to your house. All right, that makes sense? So you want whoever's getting your photo taken, you will have the choice of that photo. And that's the awesome thing about digital photography is the delete key on the digital camera or the phone, right? You can delete the photo that you hate. You're deleting it, right? And it's never coming back. And so that one, you'll get to know each other a little bit. You'll be using the auto mode on your camera. We'll walk through that next week. And that's going to be your kind of take home for next week as far as your getting to know each other. Next week in the discussion, we're going to be going over camera history and where cameras come from. I'll give you some background on my background a little bit more. You'll get to know me more as the semester goes on. The semester goes on, I do, if you haven't noticed, the more relaxed I get around somebody, I talk faster and with a southern accent. Okay, because here's my background. I was born in New York, but raised in southern Missouri. So you've got a fast southern accent. All right. Everybody in my family talks fast. Brothers, sisters, you get them together for the holidays, nobody can get a word in edgewise. It's crazy. How many have family like that, by the way? You just cannot get a word in edgewise around your brothers and sisters. That's how we are. So, but that's the beauty of podcasting. We're recording it. So if you need to record, watch something back, you can just write down on your phone or whatever, 30 minutes or 30, and go back later and watch it. But if I do talk fast, I don't apologize. It's just how I was raised. So I can't really change it. I've tried. But it's going to be a great class. You guys are, I'm looking forward to getting to know each one of you. And, have fun this semester. Bring your cameras. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is have you go to this website right up here. And you can use your Macs for this one, which I didn't even give you guys a little lesson on Macs. I used to give lessons on Macs, and students were like, I figured it out in 5 seconds. No big deal. Because it's literally pretty intuitive to learn. The one thing I would recommend as far as browsers go, it used to be, on the Macs, I would only recommend Safari because that's what it came with. But really on Macs, the one I really like using is Chrome. And I think they've got Chrome on these, don't they? Mm-hmm. Chrome is awesome for the Macs. It's fast, quick. It just works nice. So anyway, go to ems.socrative.com, and I'm going to start on the website. I've got to start a little, and the room number is RVC. If you see that on your screen, the room number is RVC. And I believe it has you put in your name, if I'm not mistaken, after you put in RVC. Let me know if that's correct or not. Did that prompt you guys for your name? Okay, just put in your full name. Will be awesome. And then as soon as you submit that, it should go to question 1, I believe. Is that right? All right, go ahead and answer that and submit your answer. Why are you taking the class? And what I will do on the overhead is give you a snapshot of how everybody's answering as they come in. You kind of get to see the graph grow live here. as it comes in. By the way, this program here is totally free to use. You guys can even use it in your meetings or something, or other classes. It's called socrative.com. You can set up a student or teacher account. You don't have to be a teacher to create a teacher account. It was created by a group of teachers in New York, 35 of them, and it's totally free to use. You can create any type of quiz, poll, and it's live right then. People can use their smartphones to do it, and you can show it kind of on a screen like we're doing. So how do we do here? So most of you here looks like degree hits number 1, camera enthusiast 2, and want to take better photos. Oh, it was only of course available, didn't make it. I do have a little dry humor, by the way, a little sarcastic. I was a middle child, so I had all sisters. Anybody grow up with all sisters, by the way, in here? All sisters? Well, yeah. Well, when you're my brother was older than me, so it was literally myself and 3 sisters. Well, you can't hit girls, right? It's not right to do that. But you could have mental terrorism, and that's what I was really good at. so, so I'm a little sarcastic, but that's okay. But I like that fun. So everybody answered that one, so let's go next. What are you wanting to learn the most from this class? And answer honestly there. How to take a good quality photo, learn all the settings, impress my friends and family. Yes, we got some impress my family and friends and family. Yes, I love that. Yeah, why not? Cool. So, okay, well, barely how to take good quality photos, 1 out. And then second, settings. Third, impress your friends and family. Awesome. All right, next, questions should be coming up on your screen. How many times have you wanted to take a photo and didn't have your camera with you? Many times? Not that many? Or, huh? I always have my camera phone with me, so never. There we go. Well, C won out on this one, which is, huh? You have your camera phone with you, so you never miss a shot, or you shouldn't anyway. And then second, many times, and third, not that many. Almost done here. Next, what do you think makes a great photo? Megapixels, top brand name, high-end lens, or the force? Got to throw that one in there. Anybody see the new Star Wars movie, by the way? Yeah, definitely highly recommend it. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, it's awesome. Okay, well, the Force won out. I love that one. Or it's winning out. Then second, we've got megapixels and high-end lens. So Force did win out. Yes. All right, and I throw in a technical one here, but again, this is not graded, by the way. It's just for fun. What is AWB short for? I don't expect you to know this right now, by the way. Auto wide beam, assisted white band, actual wide balance, or auto white balance? There you go. Correct answer, auto white balance. If you didn't get it right, don't beat yourself up over it. All right. How long have you been interested in photography? Just recently, over 5 years, under 5 years. This is a photography class? Good, we have good sarcastic people in here too. That's great. I like that. All right. So winning out is over 5 years. That's pretty awesome. No pressure for me there. Just recently, under 5 years, and pretty even all 3 except for the B there. So, and then this is a photography class. Awesome. Well, that's the end of the little survey. And by the way, the surveys I try to throw in at the beginning of each topic we talk about. They're just little short surveys, 3 to 5 questions, or what I want to know what you think, what you know. And that's what I do with these surveys, just so you know. It kind of gives me a little information very quickly, but it's kind of fun, right? And it's autonomous. It's basically autonomous. It's no names are shown, and so you just have fun with it. All right, well, that was week one. It's a wrap. So do me a favor, though, before you leave. Do check your RBC email if you've not already done that while I've been talking. And if you did not get a QR code from me in your RBC email, come up and see me so I can make sure you're in the system on my iPad. Otherwise, I'll see everybody next Tuesday. If you have any questions, email me. And then also, we will have a Periscope Monday night, 6:15 to 6:30. All right? Well, let's have a great semester. Come up and see me if you did not get a QR code, though.